Hey everyone, I'm Airwingmarine. Welcome back to the channel and my next Escape from Tarkov video. We're going to do another Tarkov economy update today, talk about some items you should take from raid, items you might want to take out of raid, and some stuff you definitely don't want to take out of raid, assuming your backpack's full. So let's dive right into it. So kind of the rule base here, guys, that I want to talk about first is when I talk about things that are worthwhile and not worthwhile, I have a rule that I say 12.5K per slot. So if it's a 2 slot item, it's got to be worth 25,000. If it's a 3 slot item, it's got to be worth 38, basically 27.5, but say 38,000. If it doesn't meet those requirements, it's kind of, I keep it in my head, I put it in the bottom of my bag, and it's the first thing to throw out as my bag fills up. And I replace that with items that meet that threshold. So that's kind of where, that's the premise of a lot of the items we talk about in here. So in the interest of making this as short as possible, I'm not going to show you a graphic for every single item in here. Feel free to go check them by yourselves. I'll talk about some of the ones that seem a little bit weirder, but I'm going to go through a big list. We'll look at a couple of them directly, and I guess you're just going to have to take my word for it. I threw a bunch of items in here in the wish list that I want to talk about specifically. So for one, the Colog B hemostats. You can see here that they sell for 13 to 14K. All day long. This guy's selling this one for 9,500 because it's 2 or 3. That's fine, whatever. But these things are not available to everyone, and there's only 5 of them you can buy from Therapist every cycle, so people can run out of them if they're not careful. These things, I sell them for 15K all day long. Cans of herring, great to sell. These are used in the Holodink barter, the little fridge thingy. So these maintain their price pretty well. Condensed milk. This one is not a mystery, I guess, but there might be a lot of people that not realize it, that this sells for this price, basically 14K to Therapist. So whenever you see these, you should grab it because it's you can sell it right to Therapist, not even have to worry about the flea market. Cricket lighters. Again, these things are crazy. Sometimes they go down to 3,000, sometimes they go all the way up to 15 or 20,000. They're used for fuel, which is why they're getting expensive. The best I can say is keep and get a handful of them and try to sell them at the end of the night when they're worth a bunch. Syringes are worth a bunch of money still. There's a point in the wipe where they're not. They're maintaining their value right now because of a couple of barters, but they're a good item to hang on to. Duct tape. Now this can go all over the place, and this is used for the barter for the sick case. So best advice I can give is get 5, 6, 7, 10 of these things and then list them for 15 to 20K, and they should sell. Flat screwdrivers. People pass up on these all the time. Now, this is the 1 slot flat screwdriver, not the 2 slot, the long handle or long flat screwdriver, whatever the hell that's called. This is just a regular screwdriver. Always keep these. They're used in a couple of crafts. They're worth a ton of money. They're great to sell in the flea market. And if you get one in your gamma or your secure container by chance, use it in the hideout to make some circuit boards and make some money that way. Insulating tape is kind of a maybe keep. This is also used in the sick case barter. So more often than not, they're cheaper, but most of the time they get to be a little bit more expensive, so they're worth keeping. Keep a stack of them. You can sell them as high as 15, 20K sometimes. Power supply units are still worth keeping. I've seen them get cheap for an hour or two, but they always rebound right back because people have to buy a ton of them for their Bitcoin farm. I've been selling them anywhere from 60 to 70K. As you can see here, that's what they're selling for now, so also something good to keep. Salewas, if you're finding these in raid, keep them. There is a special period of time when Therapist sells out, which she has now. And we're going to see here for the next half hour or so, Salewas go to like 30K. Let me turn the barter off here so we see it. You're going to slowly see these things tick up, tick up, tick up, and then sell for in the 30K range. So generally what I do is I wait for 5, 6, maybe 7 Salewas that I have, and then I list them for 30K when this crazy hour happens when Therapist runs out of Salewas, and you can make some decent money out of them. Squash spread, another food item that's worth money to keep. This is because it's used in a barter, and it's used to craft Urska lunch boxes, which is for a task. These things stay pretty good throughout the wipe, so you should always be keeping squash spread if you see it. Same thing with Tarkolas. These guys are used for the barter. They will get a little bit cheaper later on, but for right now, they're an awesome, 25 to 30K item that you can sell. And then lastly, we have wrenches. These things are weird. I'm pretty much chalk it up to the grenade case. That's the only thing I can think of that makes them this expensive, but they've been pretty reliable. They've been staying above that 15K range, and they're 1-slot items, so they're really good to take out a raid when you see them. Now, moving out of the wish list, I have some specifics I want to talk about here. Starting off with 34mm scope rings. I have these Night Force ones here, but any of the 34mm will sell for anywhere from 100 to 150K, depending on the time of night and the day when you get them. It's because they're used in a couple of tasks, and they're very necessary. So if you see 34 millimeter scope rings, hang on to them. 5.7 magazines. The interesting thing about these is very often they're worth as much, if not more, than the gun. Right now they're selling for that 22 to 25 range, but I've seen them at nights at 35 or 40 range. So when you get 5.7 pistols found in raid, whether you get them off of a crate or you get them out of a scav junk box or wherever you get them, sell the pistol, but make sure you take that mag out and sell it separately. And occasionally you'll just find the 5.7 mag by itself, take the ammo out, sell the mag, you got some decent money. MP9 mags are also worth a lot. The 25s are too, but primarily the 30 rounders, you're going to sell them for the 30 to 40K range, plus the ammo that's inside of them, so they're definitely worth the 2 slots. And oddly enough, if you see any of these yellow PP mags, they are worth good money, anywhere from 30 to 40K, and they usually come with ammo inside of them. Now make sure you're getting a 30 rounder, not the 20 rounder, because there are 20 rounders that are the yellow as well, so make sure it's the 30 rounder, but it's worth a bunch. Now if you're doing cash runs or finding ammo in crates, SP13 is a home run to keep. It's because you can't find it really anywhere else. People are using it for the shrimp. Jesse Kazam did a video talking about how much better it is because of the recoil. So go check that video out, see what he has to say. But I've seen this push up the 9x21 ammo quite a bit. But SP13, SP10's worth 2, but SP13's worth a ton. Any of the KS13 ammo. I just got the Strap 10 open here, but usually you can sell this stuff for anywhere from 8 to 1100 a round, especially if you get the flash rounds are worth 2000 and 3000 a round, so definitely hang on to those. And one of these that actually caught me by surprise is this 50 cal BMG 12x70 ammo. It's a 50 cal round, slug jammed into this. This is kind of like the second best thing to the AP20, I guess, which is why people are buying it, but I've regularly seen it get above 1,000 a round. So if you see these in a stash or inside a weapon ammo box or anything like that you're looting in raid, make sure you hang on to them because they're worth a bunch of money. Now, a couple of things to talk about that aren't worth taking anymore. And again, this is only if you have a full bag. If your bag is empty and you have free spots, don't throw stuff out. This is primarily because this is the stuff that if you find better loot, this stuff doesn't make that 12K range. Most of it doesn't even make 10K a slot range. So starting off as hoses, you can sometimes sell them for more than 20K, but as of now, they've been worth a lot less. I haven't been picking them up just because they're not trustworthy. Metal scissors are fluctuating all over the place. Sometimes they're over 10K a slot, sometimes they're under. So I've been kind of skipping on them. Relays are no longer worth hanging on to. Blue gunpowder, though it's kind of cool, it sells usually for 15 to 18K, so it's not worth hanging on to. Motors and tool sets, these 4-slotters, they're not even worth looking at anymore. And lastly, car batteries. These guys are heavy. They are only worth about 8K a slot now, so unless you need them for a task, do not pick them up. Into the med items, CMSs and Serv 12s are basically not worth picking up unless you're replacing one that you have anymore. They're just not worth the slot. Serv 12s are selling for 30, maybe 35K a piece, and that's a 3-slot item, so they're just not even worth it. To the point now where when I'm running in raid, I put ammo and mags in my secure container and just leave the Serv 12 in my backpack because the one mag is worth more than the Serv 12 with the ammo in it. Also on the valuable side, cats, horses, and clocks are all 3 not worth hanging on to if your bag gets full. There's just not enough money in them. Those are obviously some of the first things I throw out if I find them in raid and if I even pick them up. But that pretty much wraps it up for today. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Well, that wraps up the video. I appreciate you watching. Make sure you hit that like button because it helps out the channel a bunch. And subscribe for future content. We also have a Discord, links down in the description, that you can come join. We're filling up with a bunch of chill people who just love to play Tarkov. If you're looking to support the channel in other ways, we've launched a Patreon with some benefits like access to a Discord channel, constantly updated spreadsheet for my hideout calculations, and some other things if you want to go check it out over there. Lastly, thanks for your support on YouTube. It means the world to me and I greatly appreciate every one of you. So with that, we'll wrap it up and we'll see you in Tarkov.